Stan, your quick emotional reaction. I think everyone's a little emotional here about this raid.
Yeah, I mean, you think? This is some third world bullshit right here. Let me say it again. Third world bullshit. I mean every word of that. I don't care that it's cable news. I was a federal agent. I raised my right hand, and I swore to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, and I love this country. This is a freaking disgrace. A disgrace. We don't live in Cuba. We don't live under Kim Jong-un. We live in a constitutional republic, a representative democracy. You have a bunch of FBI agents raiding the home of a former president because they don't like his politics? Are you kidding me? You've spent this whole show, Jesse, and I've spent my entire time either on Fox or on my podcast exposing the left for claiming Russia interfered in an election as Hillary Clinton paid off a bunch of foreign agents, her team, literally to fabricate a story that occupied the nation for 4 years. What's she doing right now? Getting a manicure in freaking Chappaqua. She's not doing squat. Nothing. Hunter Biden is having sex on tape while doing crack. And what is he doing? He's living in a Malibu mansion. I have paid due deference to the FBI for a long time, and a lot of listeners didn't like it because I work with some very good people over there who have since retired. The management of the FBI has now shredded any single sliver of credibility this agency had left. Nobody will take them seriously from this point on. It is over.
The FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago has unleashed the MAGA beast like never before. MAGA forces are in full gear for a counteroffensive that will aim to completely and totally shatter the Democratic Party as a national apparatus. We're going to take a look at the latest on the developing updates on the raid. We're going to see precisely what's behind this unprecedented and desperate act. And make sure to stick me to the very end of this video when I'll give you a taste of what MAGA forces have planned for the Democrats. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. It's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these utterly crazy and insane times. So make sure you smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive in here, gang, if you've got $50,000 or more in an IRA, 401k, or savings account, let's face it, things are freaking scary out there. Biden's insane. He's printed more money in the past 2 years than the previous 100 years combined. The national debt just hit a record $30 trillion, and inflation is the highest we've seen since 1982. So obviously, if you have retirement savings, your money could be at serious risk. Click on that link below and talk to my friends over at Goldco to see how you can protect your retirement with gold and silver before it's too late. They're patriots just like us, gang, and they want you to succeed so much, gang. They're offering you up to $10,000 in free silver if you open up an account with them. But this is a limited time offer, so do not wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com. All right, let's dive right in here. You heard the great Dan Bongino summarize what happened last night on behalf of all of us. This was nothing less than third world bullshit. This was an obvious and explicit political hit job aimed to take out President Trump from contention in 2024. So let's take a step back and set the stage here with regard to what happened last night. First and foremost, there is an extraordinary amount of speculation swirling around the raid. As of the making of this video, the search warrant or the collected affidavits that were offered to get the warrant have not been made public, so we actually don't know for sure what's going on. The lamestream media propaganda outlets are reporting, and don't forget, this is key, whatever they're, quote, reporting is going to be in collusion with the deep state and the Democrats. So if you want to get a sense of what the official narrative, the official framing of what happened last night actually is from the deep state, well, let's go to CNN. They're claiming that the search was related to the handling of presidential documents, including classified ones that may have been brought to Mar-a-Lago, which means that the FBI would be taking this unprecedented step in raiding the home of a former president and the most likely presidential nominee for 2024 because of something known as the Presidential Records Act. Now, This act requires that the president, upon leaving office, must transfer presidential records into the legal custody of the archivist of the United States. The act does allow for the president to get rid of records that no longer have, administrative, historical, informational, or evidentiary value. But again, it's being reported that the National Archives are still looking for documents that they're claiming President Trump hasn't handed over to them. And so the speculation here is now the FBI is getting involved in this, even apparently breaking into Trump's safe, which again was reportedly empty. Now, the immediate question in all this, of course, is why the hell is the FBI getting involved in enforcing something like the Presidential Records Act? I mean, it's beyond bizarre to say the least. That's exactly what Politico is reporting as of this morning. Check this out. Quote, one perplexing aspect of the Mar-a-Lago search, at least to some legal analysts, is that the crime reportedly being investigated does not seem to match the unprecedented tactic of an FBI raid on a former president's residence. So in other words, we're not just talking something that's completely unprecedented. We've never raided the home of a former president. It's not just unprecedented, it's bizarre. Why would the FBI be enlisted to go hunt down documents from not just a former president, but the most plausible candidate for the next presidential election? So there's a very clear gap between rhetoric and reality here. There's a massive chasm between what we're being told is happening and a reasonable assessment of reality. So the left-wing media outlets, the media super PACs for the Democratic Party, CNN, MSNBC, they're all collectively trying to fill in that massive gap by speculating that this has got to be something really big. This has got to be huge in order for the FBI to be doing this. And of course, they have to say that, obviously, to justify the FBI taking this historically unprecedented step. Obviously, something earth-shattering must be happening. The problem here, of course, is that as of yet, there's been no explanation been offered that could even remotely live up to those claims. And again, remember the lamestream media pundits who were telling us this, that there's got to be this extraordinary evidence of some extraordinary crime for the FBI to get involved. These are the same media pundits that tried for 3 years to sell us all on the Russian collusion hoax, replete with the fake dossier fabricated by Christopher Steele. So as of this morning, what we're left with is a politically compromised FBI conducting a raid on a former president's home in order to enforce a Presidential Records Act that's never justified anything even remotely resembling such rash and unprecedented actions. That's, in effect, what we know as of this morning. So with that, the most reasonable explanation, the one that's dominating social media as we speak, the one you heard Dan Bongino give so passionately and succinctly, is that this was a banana republic third world political hit job. And as such, this was nothing short of a crossing of the Rubicon moment in American politics. This was an attempt by the permanent political class, represented primarily by the Democratic Party, to try to take Trump out of contention for the 2024 presidential election. You don't have to be a genius to figure this one out, right? Trump is beating Biden in the last 7 out of 10 polls. Trump's second-term agenda is already in the works. It's going to be the full implementation of an executive order known as Schedule F. Axios reported on this. It's an executive order that Trump signed back in October 2020. It was one of his last executive orders. It got a lot of press when it was originally signed, but obviously got lost in the chaos in the aftermath of November 3rd. What Schedule F does to the deep state is basically what Order 66 was to the Jedis, right? For you Star Wars fan, it was a top secret order that designated all Jedis as traitors to the Galactic Republic, and therefore they had to be eliminated. Schedule F functions very much the same way. It reassigns federal bureaucrats in D.C. as Schedule F employees, which in effect strips away all of their employment protection, thereby enabling the president to fire tens of thousands of deep state bureaucrats. A second-term Trump is the deep state's worst nightmare, because not only would Trump fire tens of thousands of these ultra-left bureaucrats, but he would replace them with loyal ultra-MAGA patriots who would guarantee America First populism governing the nation for the foreseeable future. And to that end, Trump, according to this recent Axios report, Trump has already begun to enlist solid conservative organizations who are charged with recruiting loyal ultra-MAGA replacements for all of these bureaucrats. So the deep state knows that were Trump to win a second term, their days are over. He is going to shatter the deep state apparatus. And he's going to dismantle the administrative state, such that the FBI and all the other three-letter agencies will be unrecognizable after he's done. And so that fear, that doomsday scenario, seems to have forced their hand to try to get rid of him. So here we are. And all it has done at this point is unleash the MAGA beast like never before. We heard it from Dan Bongino, and we heard it from Steve Bannon, who wrote on Getter, quote, "Mr. President, I've said this for months. Ride now and ride hard. We need to stop playing around and go full smash mouth. Announce for the presidency tomorrow at Mar-a-Lago." Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, the most likely vice presidential candidate, tweeted out, quote, "The raid of Mar-a-Lago is another escalation in the weaponization of federal agencies against the regime's political opponents. While people like Hunter Biden get treated with kid gloves, now the regime is getting another 87,000 IRS agents to wield against its adversaries. Banana Republic." In fact, it's being widely reported that the whole of the Republican Party, I mean, at least the ones that matter, are coming together like never before in support of President Trump. Richard Grenell tweeted out, "Trump is now stronger than ever before." Clay Travis agrees, quote, "This FBI raid on Donald Trump's residence makes him far stronger. It confirms every allegation he's made about the political nature of the DOJ, and it looks wildly desperate. A failing president who knows he's on track to be crushed, desperately trying to take out his top rival." Jack Posobiec tweeted out, "Trump just won the 2024 primary." And Joe Piscopo offered some very sage advice. Keep calm. This will backfire bigly. And it will. What the Democrats did last night was nothing less than a crossing of the Rubicon moment in American politics. They actually crossed a line that every single one of their political predecessors knew you were never to cross. The moment you begin raiding the homes of a former president and indicting fellow members of Congress, you have unleashed World War III, politically speaking. You have triggered mutually assured destruction. You have guaranteed that the other political side is going to shatter you when they come to power. That is what the Democrats and the FBI have unleashed as of today. A guarantee, an absolute guarantee, that forces within the Republican Party will not sleep until the Democratic Party is in total and complete ruins. Now, before you go, you definitely want to check out the amazing Q&A discussions we had last night on our live stream just after news of this raid broke out. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.